You know what I mean? All right. Super grateful to everybody that is making it aboard for tonight's esoteric study session. There we go. Now we're getting right stream on. Cool, cool. There we go. All right. So, welcome aboard the spaceship. This is for the esoteric study sessions. Those of you that are catching these streams are catching them for a reason. And we're going to go ahead and get right into it because it's very beautiful what we're going to read tonight. And it has a lot to do with what's been going on with the control on Earth. So let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we? Thank you to everybody. Everybody coming aboard. Coming aboard. My name is Sovereign Starseed, Seth, Silky. Call me any one of the other things that you want. Sov Star, it don't matter. So we like to read out of this book here. It's called Bringers of the Dawn, Teachings of the Pleiadians, written by Barbara Marciniak in 1992. It's pretty valid. I'm loving it. All right. So chapter 8 says, and this was something that was written in 1992 that was pertinent until it was trying to speak on knowledge that was going until 2012. However, I just keep noticing that the things that are happening in the world today remind me of this book. So I just wanted to go through it again. I think that's great. All right, so outside the ultimate tyranny. The ultimate tyranny in a society is not controlled by martial law. It is controlled by the psychological manipulation of consciousness through which reality is defined so that those who exist within it do not even realize that they are in prison. They do not even realize that there is something outside of where they exist. We represent what is outside of what you have been taught exists. It is where you sometimes venture and where we want you to dwell. It is outside of where society has told you can live. You have been controlled like sheep in a pen by those who think they own you, from the government to the world management team to those in space. You have been deprived of knowledge by frequency control. Think of frequency as individual broadcasting and receiving through which you dial into the station of your choice. It is the broadcasting of carrier waves of intelligence. The range of frequency is unlimited, and the range of intelligent matter transmitted is unlimited. Frequency control limits the number of stations you can tune into. As members of the family of light, you must anchor new frequencies through static chaos and bring them into the physical realm. The range of accessibility on this planet to a variety of frequencies has been very minimal for a long time because of many things that you most desperately need to become aware of. As you learn about your own personal history and discover patterns of ineffectual behavior that you must break and change, the planet pulses through its own patterns of behavior. You are about to repeat history as a planet in a most dramatic way. You have come to alter and remove the frequency of limitation and bring in the frequency of information. When you are informed, you move beyond the need to be in fear. When you feel uninformed and out of control, you do not understand the bigger picture. Each of you came to awaken something inside yourself, inside the coding of your being, the DNA, and you are responding to it. This is why you are on a search in all directions of your life. You and multitudes of others. Let me make sure that everything's going on there. Cool. Let's just find that. You and multitudes of others have begun the mutation process on the planet. As you mutate electromagnetically, you alter your frequency or the tune that you broadcast. You will eventually outgrow the frequency that holds you down and continually blasts you with chaos and confusion. Eventually, when you alter, carry, and maintain your own frequency, you will vibrate differently and thus affect everyone around you. They will feel the availability of this frequency alteration, which will then move like a wave around the planet. As the planet accepts this new frequency that you have worked very hard to obtain, those at the end of the domino chain will receive it. This new frequency is called knowledge, light, and information. It is called being taken out of bondage. You are being taken out of disinformation and misinformation, and you are becoming informed. You are coming into light. As each of you has been assigned to become informed and to bring about a frequency alteration on this planet, you must learn to become keepers of frequency. You must rise to a certain place of knowledge and consistently stay there. You must become in command of your body so that you can will it into stillness or into activity. You must be able to go inside yourself and heal what needs to be healed emotionally and physically. You must begin to part the jungle of self and find the clearing so that you can show others the way. Sometimes you will show others the way by not speaking to them, but just by maintaining, living, and working with your own frequency and having the courage to do this. As systems busters, and potential keepers of frequency, you will obviously go into the areas where your specialties are most needed. Many of the beings who have incarnated as members of the family of light came to the United States because this is the land where you can make the most progress. This also happens to be a land where denial is pervasive. You believe that you live in a land of the free and the home of the brave, yet you live in the most controlled experimental society on the planet. A tyranny that has been set up here is rather interesting because it is a tyranny without walls. It is a country and a collective consciousness. The United States has still not reached an awareness that something is not right. The environment of the United States is actually much more controlled than that of the former Soviet Union, where the control was obvious. Because everyone is so frightened to give up the system in the United States, they are going to be forced to give it up. The system is corrupt. It does not work. It does not honor life, and it does not honor Earth. That is the bottom line. If something does not honor life and does not honor Earth, you can bet it is going to fall, and it is going to fall big time. Consciousness must change. This is part of the divine plan, and this opportunity and setup are not going to be missed. There has been an over-involvement in the material world and a complete lack of understanding of the non-physical world that exists all around you. So there will be a reprioritizing of what comes first in life. People will stand up once they have lost everything, who have never thought of standing up when they owned everything. People will awaken to the incredible potential of themselves. In the next few years, a connectedness and communal cooperation will begin to run through this country so that you will stop separating yourselves with respect to political ideology. That separation was designed. Whenever a people are separated and they focus on what they do not have in common or label themselves different from others, it is a perfect disguise to keep them from discovering what they do have in common. This separation keeps people from banding together and becoming very strong. Much of the political maneuvering going on, particularly in the United States, is purposely designed to separate you. Look at the New Age. Do you see how the New Age is separated? All kinds of things are said to keep you from discovering what you have in common. When people discover this, they will begin to get angry. As more and more of the methods of control and separation are revealed to you, the anger will build in the United States. Events will occur that may look as if the country is falling apart, yet they will serve the purpose of bringing people together. A new pride and a new sense of integrity will come about because this is what is designed for the times. The material realm is one area that everyone relates to. Life in the United States translates into how much money you have in your pocket and how much money the government wants out of what you have in your pocket. Taxes will be the issue that will create both the greatest amount of havoc in the United States and the greatest amount of unification, because you all have taxes in common. You may not worship the same God, but you all pay taxes. In a clever move, the Middle East crisis allowed the government to have what it wanted without going through the problem of asking your permission for a tax raise on gasoline. You see how clever these things are? With a few more taxes piled on top of one another, people will begin to examine the quality of their lives. You will see a lot of anger in this country because many people will feel powerless. Anger is one of the first emotions that will occur when people finally understand the manipulation that has been going on and begin to get in touch with their feelings. Modern technology is one of the biggest weapons of frequency control. You have been sold devices for entertainment and convenience, and they are all involved with frequency control. We recommend strongly that you get rid of your television sets. They are the primary tool used to manipulate your consciousness on a day-to-day basis. This experiment is so finely tuned that you respond subliminally to disease via the television. So there is an entire generation that is killing itself by watching television and supporting the medical society while they're doing it. Sometimes liberating information is broadcast, perhaps even a New Age show. However, you may watch such a television show about how uplifted and unlimited you can be, while subliminally you are being hit with a frequency that keeps you from original thinking. This subliminal keeps you immobilized and holds you in a survive, arrive, be on time, be silent, go to work society. Television also promotes inactivity and a sedentary, obese life. Look around you. Wake up, humans. Most of the subliminals on television are done through technology that was developed in conjunction with off-planetary beings. The use of subliminals to upset human consciousness has become a worldwide program. If you think about the houses that have 2, 3, and 4 televisions in them, you must agree that this has been a very successful marketing program. Some people who know about the subliminals on television feel that they are immune to them. However, the effects of television are so permeating that no matter how clear you say you are going to be, you cannot counterbalance what the technology is presently doing to your vibrational frequency. We have said that there are entities who feed off your emotional bodies. Think about what a clever tool television is for them. All over the world, billions of humans are emitting emotional juices into the atmosphere based upon what they are watching on the tube. They don't have to have too many wars anymore to get you all riled up. They can simply make movies. People who need to watch television are not tapping into the wealth of information within their minds and immediately accessible all around them. As a matter of fact, if you really want to evolve, do not read your newspapers, do not listen to the radio, and do not watch television. If you are able to be media-free for periods of time and you disengage yourself from the frequency of chaos and anxiety and stress and hustle, bustle, and temptations of all kinds that you don't need, you begin to get clear. You begin to listen to what's going on inside yourself and to live in the world and not necessarily be lost in it. You become clear. We cannot emphasize this enough. Electronics also jam your frequency, even when they are not specifically designed to jam your frequency. Sometimes there is incompatibility between the electronic frequency of something and yourself. Plus, as we have said, many of them are designed to create static so that you will always stay at a certain vibratory rate, turning you into safe, harmless, inactive, productive cattle. What about computers? The second most predominant piece of hardware in the United States is the computer. How many of you go to work on computers and end up getting headaches, particularly when you work for large corporations and are hooked up to their mainframe? Large companies are into aspects of mind control. They use your minds to generate energy to achieve something for themselves. Personal computers are not as potent and powerful. Some new inventions are going to surface in the 90s. Some new innovations are going to surface in the 90s, very underground inventions, because they will never be given patents to be promoted in the marketplace. There will be a whole underground economy based upon barter, in which certain inventions will be traded between people. Maybe one of them would be Bitcoin. There will be technologies that can counteract much of the frequency control. These technologies can change the quality of your air and water, and they can eliminate the seal off of your home so that you are an integral of energy and nothing can bombard you. There are technologies that do phenomenal things. Do you understand how technology has been used against you? It has not been used for you. Television is not necessarily bad in itself, but it has been put to well purpose. There is nothing wrong with technology. It is how technology is being used that is the bottom line. That is the difference. The education system is another area where you are controlled. Most of what you are taught is malarkey. You work hard, take loans out, and pay money to learn something that is antiquated before you even set foot in the door, particularly in the realms of scientific, mathematical, psychological, and medical exploration. What do you do when you live in a society that rewards you for degrees? You begin by saying, I believe that I formulate my world. I believe that I do not need these credentials to define my existence. I can be unique unto myself, sovereign unto myself. Come up with a method or way to explore the world without degrees. Education is actually the pursuit of knowledge, and knowledge can come from a walk in the desert. It does not have to come from flipping pages in a book. It is not harmful to explore a little bit of schooling, but don't buy into the idea that what you are being taught is correct. You are controlled and separated by issues that strike at the core of your emotions. The abortion, pro-life issue is not a global issue. It is a national issue. Sometimes it does look as if innocent victims are trampled or stampeded by events that seemingly have nothing to do with them. Of course, that is what you have been taught, that you are powerless and you can only be saved by the mood of the gods, which has never been the case. Those who find their lives taken by accident or violence select it. The pro-life abortion issue has been purposely orchestrated in the United States by different factions within the government to create a lack of harmony. Divide and conquer, and you own the people. Allow the people choice, freedom, and the ability to continuously improve their lives, and you cannot own them. Whenever people oppose people, those in control benefit, even down to the issue over abortion. How do they benefit? They keep women from uniting with each other and men from uniting with each other here in the United States. They keep people in fear. They convince you by continuously putting these issues before you that a woman has no control over the birthing process in her body. You don't need an abortion. You never need to get pregnant in the first place if you don't desire it. How? By will? A woman can say to herself, I am not prepared at this time for a child, or alternately, I am in receptivity of a child. When you own yourself, you will not need permission from the government about what you could do with your own body. Violence on the streets of major cities is another subtle means of control. The big cities in the United States, Los Angeles, New York City, Washington, D.C., and so on, are energy buckets or holes where energy comes into the North American continent, or has up until now. There has been an increase in violence in these cities because it is known that if unrest can be kept brewing and reported, it can be a likely It can be a likely vehicle for manipulating the entire nation. These things are purposely set into motion on the physical level and assisted on the etheric level because the more fear that is generated, the more those in charge can feed on it. When a woman goes out with her family and is assaulted, and her young son, a seemingly innocent victim, fights the assailants and goes down by knife and dies totally unexpectedly on his vacation, the fear that is promoted throughout multitudes of people feeds many. The fear that the war in the Middle East brought about was phenomenal. You have been raped of your life force. If there is anything that you as members of the human species have in common, is that you have been raped for your emotions. Others have played your emotions as though they were instruments, and they have never let you know the power you have within your emotions. Always, this whole story comes back to emotions. Emotions are like tickets that can get you places and plug you in. You are incredibly rich if you would only realize how wealthy you are with your emotions. The lower vibratory beings, if we may be so bold as to call them that, exist off emotions in a very small range of frequency. Emotions that are based on fear, chaos, and violence. The ability to choose the human will over the human mind is your ultimate resource. Say that again. The ability to choose the human will over the human mind is your ultimate resource. This ability to master the body according to your will is exactly what the people in charge of the planet do not want you to figure out. As more of you become sovereign and in charge of your own frequency, those who do not want the new frequency here will bring an opposite frequency to create chaos, confusion, and polarity. Always, whenever a society is on the verge of a huge leap or change, there are diametrically opposed activities. It's natural. Always look at an issue from the perspective of the bigger picture so that you have neutrality with it. For the picture gets bigger and bigger all the time. The planet is headed for a major confrontation with certain entities. We are simply pointing this out. We are not here to promote fear. Fear is what the other team wants you to feel. We want you to understand that you can change anything you want to change. This is going to be a game of numbers in the future because you will work together to bring yourselves to a place of empowerment. We are asking humans to come into full function as members of the family of light by imaging and energizing the pillar of light and pulling it inside the body. Command it. Make it your intention every day to operate with a cordon of light or light frequency connects you. For light frequency connects you and fills you with protection and information. Feel it. Move into the base of your spine, down your body, and into the earth, as well as coming out of your solar plexus area like a fountain and forming a golden shield of light around you. As you use the solar plexus area to determine what is going on, you will learn discernment through feeling, not thinking. Earth's owners have not wanted humans to understand that their feelings and emotions are like a crop, such as wheat, that can be harvested. If you are in charge of your own harvest, then others cannot take advantage of you and use you unless you decree it. When you operate with a certain frequency and sovereignty, those who wish to control you are not interested in you. They want a fearful, chaotic frequency, which is what nourishes them. Fear and chaos have predominated on this planet because these entities have stirred them up. They have divided and conquered everywhere to create that frequency. When you operate in peace and love with information, you alter the structure of this place drastically. You can bring choice of frequency back to this planet. And that's it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining the spaceship. Thank everybody for being part of this. I'll just go ahead and see. We usually like to read this information as much as we can because, as you guys can see, it's definitely something that can help, hopefully. And we'll also be back tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Mountain, 5 o'clock Universal for more of the crypto and Bitcoin news. And this is Sovereign Starseed saying thank you to the humans of Earth for giving me this opportunity to transmit this information to you. I thank you so much for this opportunity. And make sure that you follow if you like this information. Make sure you share it if you know of anybody else that wants to get this information too. We'll probably be back tomorrow night. Maybe not, but probably. And I just want to say thank you to the humans of Earth. This is Sovereign Starseed saying good night.